There is something almost cruel about the way tennis schedules are built. You win a title on Saturday, you're supposed to play again on Tuesday. No one stops to ask whether the body that just spent 5 rounds fighting through Halle's grass courts has anything left to give. And in Frances Tiafoe's case, the answer came fast and without negotiation. A lower back, gone from Mallorca before he ever stepped on court. And now, with Wimbledon 8 days away, the question hanging over everything is not whether Tiafoe deserved this moment, he absolutely did, but whether his body is going to let him have it. Let me take you back to what just happened in Halle, because I think context matters here. Tiafoe won that title, beat Taylor Fritz in the final, which is not a minor thing. Fritz is ranked inside the top 10. He's a big server on a fast surface, and he does not give matches away. Tiafoe had to earn that one, and if you watched it, you could see the physical cost written all over him by the end. The lunges, the recoveries, the way he was reaching for shots in the third set that he'd have taken cleanly earlier in the week. Grass tennis does something to your back specifically. The low ball, the constant bending at the knees, the explosive lateral movement on a surface that gives you almost nothing in return. Backs absorb all of that. He's clearly absorbed too much. What I find genuinely interesting and a little troubling, honestly, is the timeline here. The Mallorca Championships posted their statement saying Tiafoe had a low back issue and would not be competing, and this came less than 24 hours after the Halle Trophy ceremony. 24 hours. That is not an injury that developed overnight. That is an injury that was already there, already speaking, and he pushed through it to close out that final, which, depending on your perspective, is either admirable or a decision that's now cost him a preparation event with Wimbledon on the horizon. Maybe both. I keep landing on both. The withdrawal from Mallorca stings beyond just the missed ranking points. Grass court preparation is genuinely specific. You can train on clay all week and show up to Roland Garros, and your footwork transfers reasonably well. Grass is different. The timing is different. The bounce is different. The way you have to shorten your backswing and still generate pace is different. Players use these early grass events, Halle, Mallorca, Queens, not just for confidence, but for physical calibration. Your feet learn to trust the surface again. Your body recalibrates. Tiafoe now goes into Wimbledon without that recalibration window, assuming he recovers in time to play at all. And here is what I need to say plainly. His Wimbledon record does not give him much room to absorb this kind of disruption. Last year, he beat Elmer Mahler in the first round, a solid enough opening win, though Mahler was unseeded and the draw was kind to him there. Then Cameron Norrie happened. Center court, 6-4, 4-6, 3-6, 5-7. Norrie is a grinder on any surface, but he is particularly awkward on grass because he never gives you the pace you want to feed off, and Tiafoe looked increasingly frustrated as that match wore on. He earned 10 ATP ranking points from that Wimbledon. 10. That is not a number you can dress up no matter how you try. So the pressure coming into this year was already there before the back flared up. Tiafoe is 27. He's been in the top 30, sometimes top 20, for long enough now that expectation follows him into every draw. The Halle title was exactly the kind of form statement that should set up a deep Wimbledon run, big serve, aggressive forehand, the kind of energy that grass courts reward when it's channeled cleanly. But a lower back injury at the worst possible time turns that story on its head. Instead of arriving at SW19 on the crest of a tidal wave, he arrives as a question mark. Will he play? Will he be mobile? Will the back hold under pressure in a third set? I want to be careful not to catastrophize here. Lower back issues in tennis are almost always manageable with proper rest and treatment, and Tiafoe has 8 days before Wimbledon begins. That's not nothing. 8 days of physiotherapy, reduced load, anti-inflammatories if needed, and smart movement work can get a player back to a functional level. The Mallorca withdrawal is actually the right call. There is no intelligent argument for him grinding through 3 rounds on a bad back just to collect a few hundred ranking points when a Grand Slam is sitting right behind it. He and his team made the correct decision. I just wish the body had cooperated a bit more. What this situation really exposes, though, is something I've thought about a lot when watching the men's grass court swing specifically. The schedule compression is absurd. Halle finishes on a Sunday. Mallorca wants players on Tuesday. Wimbledon begins a week after that. The entire grass season is 3 weeks long, and within that window, players are expected to fly between tournaments, recover from finals, and stay physically intact for the biggest grass court event in the sport. Tiafoe is not the first player to crack under this timeline, and he will not be the last. I just hope he's healthy enough to make Wimbledon worth watching, because when he's right on this surface, loose, aggressive, leaning into his serve, he's one of the more entertaining players in the draw. The other angle I keep coming back to is what this does to his seeding and draw preparation. Wimbledon seedings are finalized before the event, but the psychology of arriving injured matters. Other players notice, coaches talk. If word circulates that Tiafoe is managing a back issue, whoever draws him in round one is going to game plan for it, push him wide, make him bend low, extend the rallies. His opponents will try to make the back the issue even if it isn't, and Tiafoe will have to manage that mental layer on top of the physical one. My honest read on this: he plays Wimbledon. The back is painful, but not structural. If it were a disc or something serious, the withdrawal statement would read differently, and you'd be hearing about a longer term absence. This sounds like a muscle issue, possibly spasms aggravated by the final in Halle, and those respond to treatment within days. But I think he goes in slightly underprepared, without the grass rhythm Mallorca would have given him, and the first round is going to tell us everything. If he moves freely, if the serve is full, if he's attacking the net without hesitation, then the back is behind him, and the Halle confidence carries. If he's cautious, if there's a hesitation in his movement when he reaches left, then this Wimbledon ends earlier than it should. I want him to be healthy. Not just because I enjoy watching him play, though I do, but because the grass season is better when Tiafoe is in it fully, when he's at the net throwing hands, and the crowd is alive, and the match has that particular American energy he brings to Wimbledon, unlike almost anyone else. The All England club suits him. It has always suited him. He just needs his back to agree. 8 days. The clock is running.